Florida State coaching changes and Florida State player changes. Let's talk about it here on Locked On Seminoles.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Seminoles. I am your host, Brian Smith, along with my buddy Jeremy, Rock and Noel. We are here to talk about Florida State football, and this is going to be a rather interesting podcast with players coming and going and coaches coming and going. And thank you to everybody for showing up once again and becoming a subscriber, a everydayer here on the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one network in the land. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your live NFL bets all season long. All right, Jeremy, we're going to be talking about the ridiculousness of the Sherrone Moore situation, how that even impacts Florida State, because it impacts every major program. That's a little later in the show. Transfer portal in general, as we just started to see the last, 72 hours or so. We'll talk about a few of the names, but there's going to be a few expectations. I'm actually going to ask Jeremy his opinion on a few things on that here in a minute. We're going to be talking about a couple of guys coming to Florida State, Kam Martin and Brandon Harris. Just some brief thoughts. I'm not going to dive too much into that. I know them in a way because of where they've been, but we'll get into the coaching search and what it means. And the first thing, Edwin Joseph leaving, along with, unfortunately, Jaylin Lucas, who's, by the way, one of my favorite players at Florida State, so I'm not happy about that. But it is what it is. So, Jeremy, I would just want to make a basic statement on that. And if you have anything after, fire away. The Edwin Joseph thing, obviously, with his quote-unquote public conduct towards the end of the season in games, how that went with Norvell, like that's been discussed on this show, War Chant, Noles 24/7, etc. Probably best if parties split at this part. I don't know. I've met him. I don't know him. I'm guessing that's probably for the best. I'm going to leave that alone. The Jaylin Lucas thing, I don't know why he's leaving. I'm guessing because he just didn't get the football as much as he would like. But from a selfish standpoint, he's a kid from Louisiana. I'm guessing he's going to go visit Mr. Lane Kiffin at LSU, which he would be the perfect gadget player for what Lane Kiffin does. We'll see if that's what's up or he just goes his own way. But I think Florida State, especially since it's very apparent that Gus is going to be back, I'll explain that in 1 second. It's unfortunate because Jaylin is a player, quite frankly, that is annoying as all get out because you don't know where he's going to line up. He's a burner. He's a guy that can be a return man. There is a place for him at Florida State, Alabama, USC, you name a program, there's a way to use him. So that's a weapon that you're going to lose. Anything you want to add to Edwin Joseph or Jaylin Lucas, or do you like what are your thoughts on that?
I think there's a lot to add. Edwin Joseph's unfortunate. I know I agree with you that it was best for both parties, but it was never due to a lack of effort with Edwin Joseph. On the field, he always gave 100%.
Oh, yeah, he played hard.
They just tail off, was a leader out there. So that's unfortunate. And it goes to show that Mike has lost control in a lot of ways. I was 80% sure he was leaving because we really haven't done him any favors. And then after Pat Surtain left, it was 100.
But for those who don't know, Pat, South Florida guy, although Edwin Joseph didn't play at the same high school program, everybody knew who Surtain was down there, the trainers, everything.
7-on-7
coaches, like that. It's inevitable, and I'm just going to go ahead and make this prediction. I don't have any intel. I will be floored if one or two other prominent players in the secondary don't leave, at least in some regard, because of Surtain's departure. As I always say, not only on this podcast, but on Locked On the Portal, the other show I do on the Locked On Network, or any show that I visit. Players pick coaches, not schools. And I know everybody hates that. It is not going to change. It's not a Florida State thing. That is universal. So when Surtain left, you were going to have repercussions from it. So be it. Yeah. Ironically, the one spot I'm traditionally not really worried about FSU recruiting would be secondary. Like the history at Florida State and the defensive secondary is pretty gross, but it still is awkward when you lose guys. And you're kind of on that fringe. That's why I put it on the sheet for those of you watching live on YouTube. If you're not listening to this later as a download on audio, which by the way, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your pods, if you want to do that, please download daily. Look, the portal's about to hit Florida State and everybody else. Oh, by the way, in Michigan, really hard. We're going to get to that later, but holy cow, what a mess that is. That if you think Florida State football is in a mess, you have not seen Ann Arbor lately. But to that end, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to go with my guesstimate. I'll put you on the spot here, Jeremy. 15 to 20 guys will leave. 15 to 20 guys will come in. And part of that is because there's been maybe a little bit more of a shakeup on the assistant staff than I thought there would be because, again, Surtain was not only a good coach, he's a South Florida coach, former NFL player. He's a legacy guy in so many ways to the NFL and the DB world, and his kid's one of the most famous players in the world right now. Like all of that, and you fired him. There are going to be repercussions from that. And I don't know what the backstory is. I have no idea. I don't know Mr. Surtain.
I don't even care.
Yeah. Like that's going to have some repercussions.
Yeah, of course. Back to Jaylin Lucas real quick. I think that's huge. I don't think you beat Alabama without him in that game. He was such a factor in that game. You mentioned Lane Kiffin and him. I would not be shocked if he goes back to Indiana. Kurt Cignetti could use him.
Oh my gosh.
History there.
So Cignetti there changes the ball game probably a lot because that guy can coach. I mean, you can say you may not like his personality or whatever. He's one of those guys that's like, look, X's and O's. Yeah.
And we're learning now that these kids aren't really going in. I'm sorry, young men are not going in the portal as blindly as you think.
Oh, no.
They have representation that are saying to them, I can get you X here. Right. This school wants you. Right. So that's why it used to be they were entering the portal and then taking their chances. That's not the case anymore.
No, the kids that do that are the ones that just don't have many options where they're at, and they got no other choice but to hit the portal, and whatever happens, happens. But kids at Florida State, that's pretty rare. Let me hit the comment section as we continue on here. This to a certain degree. Eric Morse, 85, says, Edwin Joseph in the portal stings. I mean, he's a good player. I don't know how that'll work out, but I agree. He also says Nick Williams come to coach the ends. Nick is somebody I talked about already. I'm high on that. He's a younger coach, but he's from Bainbridge, like that's South Georgia. I think that's the same town Kirby's from. He played at Georgia, then he played at North Alabama to finish his career. He's a pretty good recruiter. He was just at Syracuse. I'm all in on that. If you're going to go for a younger guy, Florida State needs a recruiter at defensive ends coach because that's such a massive spot just in general. And like they're so short on pure pass rushing ends. I'm down with it. I know that Jeremy likes it too, but like
I do.
You got something to comment on? Fire away, brother.
And technique and ability too. We were so lacking fundamentally at that position this year as well.
Oh God,
couldn't set the edge. We couldn't get after it. We need a guy to teach technique again and get after it. So I think he will do that, and just have a little youth on the staff. I think it's a good move.
Point. I hadn't really thought about that. That's true.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a blend like Gus is an elder statesman. That's fine. You need to have somebody that's 35 22. Or whatever as well, or even younger. That having a balance for players to go to people at different levels of their life for not just football, but for life skills is a good thing.
I find that the older coaches get in their career, the more they hire just the old heads.
Coaches don't like going outside their comfort zone. They don't.
Yeah, Jimbo did that. Mike is doing that now. And the coaches get older with them. Yeah. So you need a little influx every now and then.
Yeah, I tend to agree, Jeremy. I think it's pretty difficult for some guys to get outside their comfort zone. Yeah. It drives me nuts, but it's been that way my entire life. This isn't like a new phenomenon.
Oh, and I'm going to steal your line. Coaches are the most stubborn people ever.
Oh, they are. I deal with them all the time. I know.
But it's interesting is if we're still a 3D lineman front, we have 2 coaches now for that.
Plus,
so maybe Pot Rose specifically.
Still, like for 4 guys, you've got 2 coaches. You better be able to recruit.
Yeah, and Odell still helps out with
which is good. Yeah, that's a legend. Like if he did, I'd be disappointed. But I just think he enjoys being around the guys. So it's a win-win for all parts involved.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
when we come back, we're going to transition to the coaching search. They've got a couple guys. Is it a good thing? And what else does it mean about who is not leaving Florida State? That is next right here on Locked On Seminoles. Today's show is brought to you by Aura Frames. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something that you wrap. it's a way to share memories because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can pretend or preload the frame and get the photos in them before you even gift it to whoever you're sending it to. So when they plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out. There's nothing confusing, no headaches, just instant smiles. So whether it's your grandparents, that they're going to get pictures of the grandkids, or whether it's your dog, or whether it's something like that for your mother, for your wife, or Aura Frames is going to have something for you. You just match it however you want with the photos you, again, are going to load in advance. There's no headache to do it. It's very, very simple. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com to get 35 bucks off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, #1 by Wirecutter. Use code college at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code college. Deal is exclusive to listeners and frames that sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day. I truly appreciate you stopping in to get this right here every day when you have the opportunity, because quite honestly, this is how I make my living and I enjoy it. So with that, make sure that you not only hit the like, subscribe, we also have the Everydayer Club now. So if you want to take it to the next level, just join the Everydayer Club by going down to the show description. We've got a link in there. You just type in the URL and it's pretty simple. Basically, the #1 thing, you don't have to deal with ads. $5 a month or $50 a year. And we also have a Discord server that's getting ready to start up, and all that is fun. I'm going to be on there on the college football Discord, just talking football in general. Probably going to be a lot of different things in there, any sport you want. But again, for $5 a month, it's a great deal. Let's talk a little bit about something that I know my buddy Jeremy and I discussed quite a bit. We texted and whatnot, the coaching search. We've got a couple of guys joining, Kam Martin, and we also have Brandon Harris. Both of these guys have connections to the staff already, meaning Gus Malzahn, and Coach Harris, his brother, Tim, is his brother. So that's a unique connection anyway. That's kind of cool for them to get a coach together. Kam Martin, he was a player at Auburn. He's somebody that Gus knew then. He's coached for him. Harris is somebody that he knows too. So it's obvious now, one of the questions that I brought up recently, I wonder if Gus is coming back now. What do you think, Jeremy? Is there any chance that he's not?
No, I'm sorry. He's coming back, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, because
he's coming back.
You're not going to approve both those hires unless he's coming back.
Correct.
Gus Malzahn is. They don't have to publish that statement now, barring an unforeseen offer out of the blue that they haven't received yet. That would be the one caveat. You're open to just the thoughts. #1, let's start with Gus coming back. What do you think about that? Like, dislike, positive, whatever you want to throw out, Jeremy. What do you think about that?
I'm going to try to be objective, because when I'm so over the head coach, to me, who's below him really doesn't excite me as much. But I think we saw what we're going to see out of Gus this year. He was. I mean, I don't go by the Alabama game anymore because you had all offseason to get ready for that game. When the film got out on us last year, we were very stale. So he relies on gimmicks way more than I even thought he would this year. Now, I would love to find out the backstory of why he didn't have a bell cow this year, which is his bread and butter, which is what he said at his opening press conference. And we never had that. And I would love to find out why. So I would love to see Gus with a bell cow in his offense. Gus has always been very average without Cam Newton and some of these guys. I gave him a little more credit than I should have before the year. So
2017, they had a great offense. They had Petway and some of those guys at Auburn, but that was a weird deal, and they got rolling. But
and the Nick Marshall year that
2013, they won every game that was close and all that, but they should have beat Florida State in the national title game, to be honest. They outplayed him for 90% of the game. He's difficult on big game. Like, he was always a great big game coach, but they would lose to somebody you're like, what are you doing? And that's been the case at Florida State too.
He was the master of somehow saving his job by beating Nick Saban.
He beat him 3 times and probably
that saved his job 3 times. So
Saban
I give
hated playing against
him. And it all depends on who your quarterback is and who your offensive line is. If we're running it back with Tommy, which could happen, I have zero excitement. And I don't dislike Tommy. I just don't think it really moves the needle.
I agree.
I'd like to see a quarterback who can sit back and throw a little bit more than Tommy. That's why your Colton Joseph suggestion I really liked. I think Gus can work with a passer, and so we'll see. I know I kind of answered it 2 different ways, but yeah, Gus didn't really excite me coming back. I'll be honest.
Man.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm okay with the offense in general, but there's 2 parts to it that usually Gus doesn't want to hear. He wants to run the quarterback a lot. How many quarterbacks has Gus had since the Cam Newton year where the quarterback didn't get hurt? 2013 with Marshall. He wasn't a big guy. They got really lucky. After that, everybody's been banged up at some point, and like Tommy wasn't healthy from game 2 on.
Correct. Jared Stidham had issues. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like you just can't do it in today's world. Like Daniel Lyons at Florida State. Let's use him as he's 295, 300. That's a big dude. He's not even close to Florida State's biggest defensive lineman. You can't be getting hit by guys like that and survive when you're 195.
Right. And the season is much longer now.
Yeah, that's
if
what I mean.
You want to make a run to the national title, you have to factor in 4 or 5 more games.
That's why I think we're seeing more teams not run the court. Like in the Ohio State-Michigan game, Julian Saint's a decent athlete. How many runs did he have?
Not very many.
How many did he have against Indiana? Like none.
Yeah.
Is that coincidence?
But
no,
smart.
It's because they're trying to make a run.
And it's smart. We talked about it before the year, Brian.
Right.
Being smart with Tommy, and we called it a pitch count with him.
Yep. Well, if you run him 4 or 5 times, it's one thing, but they like for his offense to work, it's like 15.
Yeah. So Gus in this era of college football is not as effective with more games and having to.
Yeah, he's better for the BCS. 100.
He's better for the BCS, and he's better for just exactly. So no one talks about that.
Yeah, it's part of it. Let's see what we got here. Champs 998. Offensive staff is set. Now there will not be any more changes. Now, let me throw out something. Based on yesterday's news at Michigan, I'm a little jaded to say there won't be any more changes anywhere because that is still one of the wildest things ever. By the way, I was at a Dick's Sporting Goods when it happened. My buddy calls me and he jacks with me once in a while. He says, Sherrone Moore just got fired. I'm like, yeah, right. He goes, no, I'm serious. I'm like, wait, what? People around because I was how loud I got that people were looking at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? It was like, you got to be kidding me. So anything can happen in college football. Yesterday was proof of that.
There were rumblings, though. There were rumblings 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to get into that at the end of the show. I'm going to take many shots at the Michigan Wolverines because it's ridiculous. And they're unfortunately deserved. It's not good for me, you, or anybody.
No.
Because they handled that so poorly on multiple levels, including the media. But that's just part of it. Richard, what's going on, man? I am worried about Sperry leaving. That's an interesting one. If Sperry comes back, by the way, he's a great fit for Gus's offense because he's an athlete and he's a big dude. But I have no idea. I don't know the kid. He's a Texas kid. I don't know him. Maybe he's the guy that ends up being the dude. If Tommy doesn't come back, it might be their best option. I don't know. But they do need to bring in my opinion, a veteran at minimum from the portal I don't know. I don't want to sound jaded or mean. Guy that's played a little, but he ain't the guy. I would like to see him
a starting job too.
Yeah, like they bring in somebody from the Sun Belt or whatever that can throw it, but he's not going to be a threat to Sperry. You know what I mean? Like that's just my.
Or at least compete. Yeah.
If he ends up playing a game or two, it is what it is. My thing is, and I know this sucks. It won't be fun covering it this way, but if they go the younger route, 26 might be 5-7, but it might be the most important 5-7 in recent Florida State history. Play a ton of freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, and guess what? They all become sophomores, juniors, and seniors the next year. You know, they're losing a very big group of seniors because so many were transfers. You're not winning the national title in 2026 anyway. Newsflash. Play the younger guys. You're not going to fire Norvell, is my guess, if he goes roughly 500 next year. I know Florida State fans don't want to hear that. I will be shocked because I think they want 2 years out of a minimum. I think that's how cheap this administration is. Prove me wrong. If I'm wrong on the back end, I'll be the first guy to admit it. Whatever.
Be with you there.
So we'll see. But to that end, Sperry would be a fit, and he's good enough passer and got a strong enough arm. If you went to a more Bobby Bowden pre-Charlie Ward offense, late 80s, before Ward got the gig, that's okay because he can gun it. But you're going to have to go through some stupidity because young quarterbacks do stupid things. That's just reality. I'm okay with it. I know you if you want to comment on that.
Yeah, no, it would be nice for once to actually develop one of our own. I mean,
wait a minute, develop a quarterback. What?
We haven't done that.
Stop.
And I mean, it's unheard of these days at Florida State. I mean, schools actually do that elsewhere. What I would like is what I've noticed is this year, I go by the rivalry games and how we look in a lot of ways. In the 90s, that's what you were judged on as a player and a coach at Florida State. Nothing more, nothing less. Miami game, we didn't show up. Clemson game, we didn't show up. Florida game, we didn't show up. And I attribute that a lot to, we weren't playing well, but also these kids are coming in as, I hate to use the word one-year rentals, but they are coming in like that. And they don't embody the rivalry, the spirit of it as well. Understandably so. You develop some of your own guys, they take these games more seriously. So I would like that, Sperry, in a way. And I think the fans will get behind Sperry.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. To that end, I also think that you're probably going to develop better if you have the same, like you think about the Bowden era, it also overlapped with Nebraska. They were totally different schemes, but if you have the same coach year in and year out, the little things, all the corners that you cut, how you practice, how you lift, how you eat, when you sleep, all those things. Florida State has had so much turnover. It's insane. Like the last 10 years, it has been insane. Out of the major, the ones that can really win it, there may not be a program that's had more upheaval than the Noles. That's going to be detrimental. It'd be nice to get a little consistency. But
how do you build leaders off guys who come in January and leave in September? How do you build a culture? You can't.
It's not.
Especially with Mike, who is failing in that regard now.
100%.
So, in the beginning, we thought it worked out because we were getting guys for multiple years. We thought building a culture and that they would come in and just out of it. And that's not the case, especially the last 2 years. So you have to build from within and encourage guys to stay in that regard.
Yeah, I agree with it. But just for the record, Harris is going to be DB coach, corner coach, kind of replaces Sertan. He does have South Florida ties, FAU coach, and then last season UCF coach. He is, again, Tim Harris Jr.'s younger brother. Their dad is Ice Harris, famous coach at Booker T. Washington, great guy down in Miami. So that's part of the replacement. But he's a young guy. I don't know much about him. As the saying goes, I'll just learn on the go. I'll learn through osmosis and listening to War Chant and everybody else, Tallahassee Democrat, all the people that have daily we're going to hear things. But he's going to get his shot. Kam Martin, that's an interesting one. He's a running backs coach. He played at Auburn. He's been around the SEC. He's been around the Big 12. The guy that was UCF, he knows Gus. He knows what it looks like because he's been in the SEC. That's helpful. I don't remember much about him as a recruiter, but he's a nice guy. I don't think it'll be a problem for him to adjust. We'll see. But again, the biggest thing for me with these two, it is flat out, no doubt, Gus is going to be here barring something very unforeseen. So when we come back, I want to talk transfer portal, a little more specific about what they need, what they don't need. Who can Florida State not afford to lose? Is there any loose ends besides the obvious, like a Chroma or something like that? Can they keep Deuce Robinson? There's been a little discussion about that on some of the sites. That is next here on Locked On Seminoles. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the football game. You're reacting to the football game in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, whether it's second quarter, third quarter, whenever it happens. That's up to you. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment, you can make your own bets as they go. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. That receiver gets hot, makes 3 catches in a drive. Maybe it's a one-handed grab in the end zone. A defense tightens up and gets a pick. Whatever it is, FanDuel lets you jump in on the moment, whenever that may be. Live spreads are going to adjust based on what's going on the field, a quarterback, or anything else. And that includes player props with FanDuel. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Thank you once again for making Locked On Seminoles your first listen each and every day. Please like and subscribe. Jeremy, let's talk a little bit about the opportunity for Florida State to maximize on the transfer portal. Let me say something that is almost never going to come out of my mouth because I know numbers matter and balance matters. Deuce Robinson cures a lot of ills, and he's not a portal guy, but in a way he is. And this allow me to want this in. I want your take. If they somehow finagle keeping him, that changes your offense exponentially, whether it's Tommy. Hell, my mom's dog could be the quarterback. He had over 1,000 yards receiving in an offense that was broken sometimes and awesome others. Like it was just, you never knew what you were getting with Florida State's offense, let's be honest. And he had over 1,000 yards and he was banged up part of the time. He would play through injuries. We'd see him on the sideline nursing something and he'd try to get back. He loves football.
Yeah.
And he's a kid that's already got a lot of money in his pocket and he's playing that way. That's a good sign. He's well taken care of. His dad played at Florida State and all that. He grew up in Noles, blah, 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 blah. Having stated all of that, there's rumor that he might come back. I saw it first on Noles 24/7, maybe War Chant report. I don't know which one reported it first, but whatever. They all report the same stuff for the most part. And that one I did a double take. I'm like, what? I thought for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's at worst a third round pick, right? Like I've done this a long time. Like maybe he's
determined where I think he would be incredible there.
Here's the other thing. Next year's draft, Cam Coleman and Jeremiah Smith are going to be in it. I'm not sure why you would want to go into that draft.
Yeah.
But I'm not the one making the decision.
Right. And Ryan Williams next year.
Ryan Williams regressed this year, but you're still right. Like his Ryan, I know Ryan, when he goes and puts his hand in the dirt and they test him, and he hits 4.3, it's going to work out well for him.
But he's someone I would have above Deuce Robinson right now.
Yeah, he's just not as – I don't know if I would because he drops the ball too damn much. But when he makes plays, it's grotesque too. He's that high, low. He's got
his
a mature
yards after catch is unbelievable.
Yeah. He's a burner. Yeah. But at the same time, if they somehow finagle Deuce Robinson, look, if you do go portal quarterback, whether it's a high level or anywhere in between, or go Sperry, I don't care what it is. If you're the quarterback, you're like, okay, we got Wayne over here. We got Mekhi Dancy over here. We got Deuce over here. We got Landon Thomas. I assume Pittman will be back. I don't know. He could test the waters. Like his stock's probably not going to change much because he's 6'1.5". He's the perfect NFL H-back, straight up. Yeah. But if he comes back, and then you got Chroma, Cam Davis, you got the running back, they got Amari, whatever. Like they're going to be fine at running back. I'm not worried about running. And then maybe they bring in one portal guy for support, but like Singleton, like they're good.
Yeah,
that offense could be really good. I know everybody's going to say, well, Brian, what about the offensive line? And you're right. I don't know. There's a few guys, Lucas Simmons, Jonathan, they've hinted on some guys, but I need to see how it formulates, who stays healthy. Because I don't think there's a very small error margin here with the offensive line until otherwise proven. Jeremy will say that. I will say that. I don't think any Nole.
That's the big caveat to everything you just said.
Right. But from a skill standpoint, if you take O-line out of it, it's just as good as what it is at Miami, other than like running back room at Miami next year might be number one in the nation.
And they got Malachi.
Malachi's great, but as a 1-2-3, I would take Florida State's. Malachi's maybe the best receiver in college football already. Like it's gross.
Crazy.
What he did as a freshman. That's weird.
And their offensive line just does they have some road graders.
They're really good. And they're losing a couple of Big Maui will leave, et cetera, but they're still really good. The point is, if you're a quarterback, that's pretty freaking attractive. Just want to bring that up. Mm-hmm. Secondarily, if he comes back, that's money. They're going to have to spend a little bit, but I still think that's better to spend like, I don't know what it is, another $300,000 or something.
He had a 2-year deal.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll have to entice him with more so he doesn't go to the drafts, what I'm saying. Like, I have no idea because he did get.
No, I don't know how it works in that regard. NIL is very secretive.
Yeah, and I get it. However, that's good for your program. And that's money otherwise you can dump into the defense. And Wardley knows that linebacker room, which is, in my opinion, the least important position on the field now because you can pick on linebackers in coverage. Teams don't run the ball the same. They're going to have to dump some cash there no matter what scheme they run. They're so far behind at linebacker. It's insane. I don't know if have you heard anything? Is Blake coming back? Blake Nicholson? He's the one guy that he's super athletic. That's not debatable, but I just don't think he's that instinctive when he has to go backwards. Look, they don't have a single guy in coverage that is even mediocre.
Yeah, we haven't done him any favors either, but I don't know if he
That's what
fits
I mean.
Tommy White's system that well.
I don't think he does either, because he needs guys that can read. Like, he needs super high-level mental guys for that defense on passing downs. That's
for his system, it's very important.
It's a long maturation process. They don't have that kind of time.
No.
And that goes back to
brought in the kid from North Carolina last year, Caleb Lavely.
Yeah, he's banged up a lot. I don't know if I don't know where that stands, because Florida State never gives us any real honest answers on injuries. Let's be honest. They don't, because they aren't honest. They got to have 3, I would imagine. That's not going to be cheap.
So I don't. For Blake, it might be a mutual parting at that regard.
Possible. He's a California guy too, so it's hard.
He's a California guy. He's given everything to this program in 3 years. We've done him no favors. So I don't know. And to go back to Deuce a little, I was just thinking, that's one of those people you sit down with. If he says he's thinking of coming back, and you say to him, how do you feel about Sperry as your number 1? Do you think we need this quarterback in the portal? You run it by him just as much as anybody. If you better bringing him back, you say, what are you thinking? Can you work with this? As no different than a coach. Can you work with this? So if Sperry's the guy and Deuce comes back, that means Deuce believes in him. As much of a team guy as Deuce is, Deuce has to be selfish in some ways, which is hard for him because
he's a super nice guy.
Super nice, super. I mean, he wears Florida State on his heart. Like, we're not a 5-win team without him this year, which is crazy.
I imagine he would be a captain if he came back, which probably means something to him and his father, which is cool.
Yeah. But, and his dad is what makes Dominic so special is Dominic's going to be cut and dry. Dominic's not going to say, just come back because I love Florida State and you love Florida State and they're paying you nicely. He's going to say if it makes more sense to go to the NFL or if it makes more sense to come back. And Dominic's going to make sure him and Deuce ask the right questions. So if he comes back, it's because they did their homework.
I agree. Yeah. How many, like I said earlier, 15 to 20, how many guys do you think ballpark will leave from the secondary? Let's just focus on the back end. That's the one I'm concerned about, because prior to Surtain being jettisoned, I'm like, it's not fixed, but the raw talent back there is pretty high based on recruiting rankings, based on length. I've seen some of them play. I'm worried that 3 or 4 more guys might leave because they got some South Florida kids there. Some of the kids came because of Surtain. Like that. Have you had that cross your mind?
Yeah, I have. I'm glad you asked that. Jabril Rawls, I think, might just be a case of he's going to get a lot more on the open market.
Yeah, he could be a kid that goes
and get to,
or something.
Right. He's going to get a lot on the open market in a money situation that Florida State maybe could or shouldn't do. And it doesn't matter wherever he goes, if he stays or if he goes, he's having a new coach regardless. So I think Jabril's a money situation, and I'm not knocking him for that. If you can get double it on the open market, you've done everything you can at Florida State. Kai Bates, Charles Lester, heralded recruits. Been here 2 years. I think Kai and Charles both under 200 snaps this year on a team that struggled mightily. That's not good.
They were recruited as man cover guys, and then bring in a guy that doesn't run that. But I know Kai well. He was a 4.0 kid at Edgewater High School in Orlando. I was surprised that he didn't adjust, but for whatever reason, that didn't work out. Maybe he needs to move to safety in their scheme. I have no idea.
And so many of the actual recruits that Mike has gotten that were above 3-star are leaving. So I remember signing day getting Conrad Hussey, Edwin Joseph, and Hakeem Williams, and saying, man, we got some 4-star guys out of South Florida. They're all gone. So,
and there's also Quindarius, who got banged up this year. He's a man guy. Does he adjust his own? I could see several guys bolting.
Did Jerry Wilson have another year?
Nope, he's done.
Because apparently that was a guy that Pat wasn't really sold on. But he was told you're going to make it work. So
he was a pretty good player for him.
Yeah, but for what Pat was looking for versus what
Tony. That might have been why Pat's going what he wants to run. It's the first thing I said when I looked at Tony's game. They have nothing in common.
Mm-hmm.
So I never understood why Mike hired him. If you're going to keep Surtain, they should have cut bait last year. I don't know why they didn't, or just make Surtain the defense coordinator. Because if you're a man guy, you're a man guy.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, but to that end. All right, let's finish up talking a little bit about the Sherrone Moore thing. Let me just make the general statement here. Number one, I am going to take some shots at Michigan, and they're justified, but I'm talking about the institution. Obviously, Sherrone Moore is not right for any of those that have read the full thing. And this is all alleged. He threatened to kill himself once he got into it with his wife. He went and broke into his alleged lover's home with a knife, etc. afterwards. This is after he got fired. He had been lying, again, allegedly to the university. The alleged lover had been lying to the university where she was an intern, much younger. He had a wife and 3 kids. None of this is good. But here's the problem. This had been going around for quite a while. And if you want to believe the Michigan media, for those of you who are listening later on audio, I just did the infamous air quotes, Michigan media, they didn't know anything until the last couple of days. So convenient after signing day that they didn't know anything. Let me be very truthful here. I also run the Portal podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network, and somebody who's followed recruiting since about 1990, I can guarantee you the following. There are going to be a lot of parents that call up people that are in and around Michigan and say things that I'm not allowed to say on air here on Locked On Seminoles. Use your imagination. And there will also be players, including what it sounds like Savion Hyder, who might be the number 1 running back in the class of 2026, signed by the Wolverines, that are never in a Michigan uniform in Ann Arbor. There will be others. Carter Meadows, maybe the best defensive end in the country, signed out of Washington, D.C. Would I be surprised if he's at Ohio State or Maryland or Penn State or Virginia Tech or anywhere else that offered him? No. These kids are going to feel slighted, even if it was on the up and up. Their head coach is not there. And B, do they really believe that? Because this stuff has been floating for a while. Oh, we just found the evidence afterwards, right after. Really? Is that really true? If they'd have beat Ohio State, would that evidence been looked at the same? Not buying it. Calling them out straight up. I'm talking about the administration.
Yeah.
Not talking about Sherrone. Obviously, he's got his own issues. I hope that gets taken care of. Whatever happens. I am pointing directly at the athletic department, the board of trustees, the president, the fans, and yes, straight up the Michigan media. None of them would report anything other than it's just rumor. Really? We both know, like I've worked covering specific teams. There is no way on God's green earth that one of them didn't get some knowledge of this and knew that it was legit. They're all chicken. Period. Yeah. Now, some of them maybe not have got it. I'm just talking about there are some in the Michigan media that bold-faced lied. 100%. And it's ironic after the cheating scandal when some of them were defending on podcasts, oh, this Connor Stallion stuff is garbage. Some of them are still employed too, because Michigan fans wanted to believe it. Yeah. That's the most tainted title in recent history of any sport, by the way, even more than the Houston Astros. And that is hard to top. But at the same time, again, I hope, that Houston Astro thing was terrible. The whole Connor Stallions thing, Harbaugh leaving, like Michigan's quote unquote Michigan man thing has been just thrown under the bus.
Right.
The last 3 years. Holy cow. And it's a great school. It's one of the greatest campuses, all that. That's all great.
I was just there.
Yeah, it's a neat place.
Yeah, it's a great place to coach.
What a screw up. And I will throw one thing at Sherrone's feet. You were handed that job under the age of 40, and you just literally threw it into the dumpster. His name is Sherrone, but how about just call him Moron for right now? Because that is moron.
Handed the job, and you have all you got to do is just drive the car there.
Yeah, man.
All the NIL money is there. Everything under the sun. You just have to be the face of it. And
it's a shame because college football is better when Michigan is quote unquote relevant. Mm-hmm. Because of this, and this is my final part on this. And Jeremy, you can rip away however you see fit or support it, whatever. Michigan's going to lose several players off that roster because of this. Because right now, this very second, I personally guarantee you that agents that represent Michigan players, parents that are obviously invested in their own children, as well as people that are around them, are searching out other schools. Florida State could even get a transfer. They're going to lose 4 or 5 guys, minimum. because of this crap, how the administration failed to handle it, in addition to Sherrone obviously making terrible decisions, and it's going to hurt them. They may not beat Ohio State for a very long time. That's weird how that series flip-flops, like very hard right or very hard left, and it's just they're not going to beat anybody very good for a little while because, in my opinion, barring something very unforeseen, nobody's going to want to take that over. They're not going to trust the AD is going to be there. They're not going to trust the president. Like, why would you want to go there, even though it's a great job usually, because it's going to be up in the air. Like, who do I trust here? It's obvious they were hiding stuff. That doesn't take very much to figure out. And they're going to be losing players. Like Hyder, the running back I mentioned, it's already talked about, like Michigan probably going to lose him. That guy's a dude. Like I covered him at the Under Armour game last year. That's a freaky athlete. That you can't win big without those kind of players. And Michigan's fans only have one expectation. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to go take that over? So, like all that coaching search and all that stuff, it's over. Jeremy, take it away. What are your?
I think I hear what you're coming from, but we live in a different era, my friend. They didn't go there because, oh man, I want to play for this Sherrone Moore guy. Michigan's NIL and collective is as strong as anywhere. They have Jeffrey Ellison and company. I'm sure right now they're reaching out to their current players saying, don't worry, we'll take care of you. And for those of you who are listening, I'm doing the cash sign. And I will take care of you. Just let us get somebody in here. The one that'll be interesting to me is Bryce Underwood, because Lane Kiffin's going to make a call there to LSU. But he's not there because he wanted to play for Sherrone Moore. I think Michigan has the money to smooth things over, to make a good PR move here. I'm sure they were tipped off what was going to happen. They got ahead of it at least. Thankfully, if they had to fire him after that, I think a lot of what you just said would come to fruition more. There was rumors 2 weeks ago that they were doing an investigation, and if it came true, they were going to act quick. So I wasn't surprised in that regard. I think Michigan is going to be fine. I think they have to go big game hunting now. No internal promotion, no.
What do you define as big game hunting, though, and like what's realistic?
When you're Michigan, anything is realistic. They have the money to go after anybody.
These coaches make a lot of money, though. Like Sherrone Moore is making $5.5 million as a guy who'd never even been like a coordinator.
Yeah, I agree. But Michigan can double that if they want.
That's what I mean. But like, who's going to take? Like, they're talking on their board what they're going to get DeBoer.
The thing that holds them back from DeBoer is a playoff run now.
Yeah, like the timing is really bad to get.
Timing's horrible. Would he be interested? You bet. Matt Campbell, I'm sure he's happy at Penn State right now, but I'm sure part of him is banging his head in his desk there saying, by 1 week, I could have been at Michigan.
Because for those that don't know, Matt's allegedly a Michigan fan.
Right. So that would have been a great hire, good PR guy. Trust me, Michigan has every avenue open to them now. I think they can keep the guys in-house with the money they have there. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think. I think Michigan has as good a PR department as anybody. They will smooth it over as anybody. I think in a week or two, it's going to go away, a lot of stuff. And we're just talking about a coaching search there.
Could be. Could be. Let's see what else we got in the chat here. Champs998 can opt out as a conference member or you pay a big fine. I think it was something like $5 to $8 million. For those who don't know, like K-State, Baylor, Iowa State all had to pay $500,000 for their opt-out. Notre Dame's not in a conference, but you're going to see this now. Teams that don't make the playoff, you're going to see it every year.
It's a glorified version of when players were opting out. Yeah. So now it's just
it would have been worth it.
I like it. I really like it. I do.
Ride the skies. Let's be real. So many quarterbacks wouldn't want to play under Gus. That's true. They want to pass. If you're passing a lot, that means things aren't going right. Gus's offense is really, really, really unique. So he's not wrong about that. Warren Hester, 1621. Love the coverage, Brian, but I can't get excited when Mike Norvell is the head coach. You, me, and a whole bunch of people agree on that statement. Curveball. Ray from Miami is hitting the portal. He's a good kid, by the way. Florida State needs to take a shot at getting him. I think he'll end up at USF, though, unless Florida State makes a big offer. By the way, Brian Hartline going from Ohio State wide receiver coach / OC to USF, that's going to be interesting to see who he gets in general. Jacked up sales Tommy threw the ball a ton towards the last half of the season, and that wasn't good. That's because he was banged up. They knew they couldn't run him as much, and that really hurt Florida State, in my opinion.
It's easy to game plan for Tommy Castellanos if he's primarily passing.
Yeah, just play zone. He'll throw you the ball. Richard Brookings. Yeah, that is because he was hurt and couldn't run. Bingo. Jacked up sales. He was more healthy at the end of the season, right before like games 7 through 10. Awful. Like he was hobbling around. Florida game, he was a little better, but he still didn't make great decisions. Let's see here. Jacked up sales. The reason we didn't throw is because Tommy can't make the reads or the accurate enough passes to have a prominent attack. I'll push back on one thing. For whatever reason, Tommy could throw the deep ball. Why? I have no idea. He threw some money shots this year. Ride the skies. Tommy is lucky if he can ever see over the line. He's about 5'10". So that's true. Let's see. I wish Jordan didn't have to panic against the FCS team. Ruined his career. I hope this is true, but I'll believe it when I see it. Champs 998, Rawls is staying at Florida State. Based on what exact data point? I would love to know that. If it's true, it'd be great. Richard Brookings, yeah, that injury was probably worse than what they said. I believe he is already out of pro ball. He is. Maybe you should bring him back as quarterback coach. It's actually not a terrible idea. Oh, this is hilarious. Great. 52. Mike Norvell is at Michigan, man. We'll set up the package.
Michigan Mike.
We'll send him north just for you, Michigan fans. Hire Big Pimpin' Coach O. That'd be hilarious. Coach O. It's terrible at Michigan. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Davion Wallace in the portal. Well, interesting. And Terrence Montford. Let's see. Who's the offensive player that needs to make the biggest jump? What do you think there? That's
a great question.
Probably one of the offensive tackles, to be honest.
It has to be a D lineman. Is James Williams staying? He has
this is for an offensive player, though. Offensive player.
Oh, offensive.
I say one of the offensive tackles.
Yeah, and I say a second or third receiver to help do so.
Yeah, Mike Hyde's got to be a better route runner. Yeah, something like that.
Lincoln Hoy was good this year, but his best stats came in garbage time when games were decided.
What's going on, Mike? Go Noles. McCoy. Yeah, McCoy, I'm telling you, he's got a lot of talent. I know him personally. If McCoy takes a step and Danzy takes a step and Deuce comes back, that's as good a 1-2-3 as you're going to see.
Correct, and he's another guy that's upset about Pat Surtain, so I'm going to monitor
Well, he's another South Florida kid. He played in Miami Central, 100%. But all right, I'm going to wrap it up here. Any last thoughts, Jeremy?
No, I think the Sherrone, thanks for having me on, as always. Rock and Roll YouTube channel, live streams. Brian has been an amazing help to the channel. Can't thank him enough. Doing vlogs around the country, so please check it out. And the Sherrone Moore thing, I think, is only getting more interesting. I mean, we haven't seen a story like this.
It's just, I have a feeling as we go deeper into it, it's only going to get worse.
I'm going to be monitoring that. And if the national media starts picking it up more as far as like people who don't cover football, it's going to get interesting. Absolutely. And Michigan just had a scandal they got out of, so
they can't get out of their own way, brother.
They can't get out of their own way. And I heard the number one thing of the coaching search there is nobody tied to Harbaugh.
That's tough. All right. Well, thank you very much for once again checking out Locked On Seminoles. We will be back again soon. I probably won't do a show tomorrow. I'm going to be traveling as I head back south, leaving my parents' house here in a little bit. But truly appreciate everybody stopping in. Please like and subscribe. This has been Locked On